And you know what? Laten we dit nog eens doen. Hello, I am Simon, and I'm making a video game. It's a 2D top-down racing game that's based on real-world racetracks, but using my own artwork. I've made this over the past almost 10 years, off and on, a little bit here and there. But recently, I decided to take everything that I've cobbled together over the years and make it into nice code, class-based JavaScript instead of just dumped into one file. Um, uh, what I like about it, the idea is the ra- game world, the racetracks are built on SVG files, and as such, I can put a lot of meaning, of kind of world logic into the world simply by drawing it. Now, in order to do that, you have to follow a bunch of rules, but I try to keep the rules to a minimum, and as a result, you could quite easily and quite quickly add new worlds to the game. So today I recorded a video of me doing that, basically downloading the SVG of a track from Wikipedia, importing it into a clean file, and just preparing that to be put in the game. So that's what I'm going to show today, basically. And yeah, you'll hear me yapping about stuff over top of it. So yeah, enjoy episode 1 of my video game devlog, I suppose. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here we have the Wikipedia page for Losail International Circuit. Um, Pretty much all the racing circuits in the world have a Wikipedia page, and most of them also have an image of the track layout, which in also a lot of the cases turn out to be SVG files. That's cool because then I can just download it here and import it into Inkscape, and that's basically where a racetrack in the game starts. So I imported this already before I started recording. Let me see. Oh wait. Oh wait, did I mess up the original? Okay. Yeah. So here is basically the original Wikipedia file. You clean it up a little bit and remove the numbers. I think I already organized it. Yeah. Oh. Basically, all we need is this shape, SVG shape. What's it? A path. Looks like that. And then a bunch of additional paths. But just to start off with the clean file, I basically just copy this path, this element, import it into a new file, and that's where I start from. Because of a couple of world rules, I can't just. I mean, I could copy the original SVG. I increased the track width. It is a video game after all. It's not reality, and I have to make it this wide. Let's see, track width is usually about 500 pixels wide, maybe 550, something like that. Because the width of the car is about 120 pixels, so you need some room. Like if I didn't do that, the racetrack would become very small, or I'd have to scale up the world ridiculous amounts, basically, and that's not healthy. The general world size, as you can see here by the pixels, is already something about. I think yeah. So I did a normal HD resolution, like 1920 pixels, multiplied it by 16, so you end up with 30,720 pixels wide. World doesn't have to be square, so it doesn't always have to be that tall. But yeah, those become big rasterized images in the browser, basically. So you want to keep that somewhat manageable, I think. So I make it fit on that kind of canvas, and then I scale up the width of the actual racetrack. Let me see if I can import an image of a race car, like That would be to game scale. Let's say this is about the game world size. So I guess even now this racetrack is a little bit on the thin side. Let's say. I guess. I think it would be nice also for gameplay just to have it be 4 cars, maybe 5 wide. So it also, even if you're not competing against others, the racetrack still becomes doable. Because otherwise it'd have to be small, and then if you make the car smaller, it loses the feel of speed basically. Or if you zoomed out like that, then you see everything coming. And in the current setup, it is a little bit hectic. Yeah, what to do? So I imported this file and basically, or this shape, and there's a couple of rules that we need to do. First of all, we need to make these layers or group elements because with their ID we can load them in as separate layers. Basically, I'll put in some CSS to hide all the root level group elements. And so then I can load in this SVG with a hash behind the path of the file, and then the name of this layer, and then the name of this layer, and the name of that layer. Now, track and world don't necessarily need to be separated. I just find it nice for organization and for knowing what's going on, to be able to separate them. But in terms of graphics, they could be basically the same layer. Elevated needs to be its separate layer, because like you want to drive underneath a building or a tunnel or a bridge or whatever. So yeah, that needs to be separated. For now, I guess I'll just hide all this stuff so that we have the track and just the track. So the game engine basically needs a couple of things present in an SVG file. And I guess let's just start from the top. So the idea is you enter the world in your trailer. Your car is in a trailer. You enter the world in the paddock area. Paddock area is usually where all the trucks and trailers are parked on a racetrack. So usually somewhere behind the pit garages. So the game looks for a path with an ID called garage box. And puts you on the first waypoint it finds on this path. So usually the car would spawn over here. I'll show in a minute. Then the next waypoint for the player is to go from their trailer to their pit garage, which would be somewhere over here. And from there, the next path would be to go to their pit box, which is basically a marked area in the pit lane where you could service your car during racing sessions. Once this final waypoint has been hit, the next waypoint becomes the pit exit, which is this little separate path. It finds a few waypoints, and once you've hit the last waypoint on that one, the speed limit is released, and you can just race around and do laps, basically. So it would be cool to illustrate the entire process and show how in 5 minutes, or maybe less, you could download an SVG from Wikipedia, toss it in the game, and zip around the racetrack. Like of course, you would need to build the world, but okay. So we have these elements. I'm gonna save this file, and let's see, where do I go? There we go. It updated. It now shows this little rectangle I just put in there. Oh. Absolutely fake preloading, but here we are. And you'll notice the car is looking kind of dim, and what's going on here, and that is because I forgot to add the little lines of CSS to the file that the browser uses to separate the layers. So for example, I will show you the file here, and then we go to locale.svg. that looks like locale. You can tell by the scroll bars how large the file is. So okay, it is here. But now when I go to, let's say, this, I want to see only the stuff that's on the elevated layer. When I go to this, I want to see only the stuff that is in the world layer, and I want to go here. You only want to see the track. So let's do that quickly first. That's the original Wikipedia file. Let me just steal some from... Oh, no, that one's broken. Here we have the CSS. I'll explain in a second. Here we go to definitions. I'm not a fan of how Inkscape spits out SVG XML, but I guess they have other priorities on the Inkscape team. Okay, so yeah, and this was rewritten by Inkscape as well. Whoa. Huh. There we go. So what does this do? Whew. Every group level, root level group is hidden. But when they are targeted using like this notation, if you load a file like this, this element becomes basically this target selector. So using that, we can load in separate layers. Here is a little media query I put around it to have Inkscape ignore this CSS, because internally it just also uses style attributes to show and hide layers and group elements. So ideally I would load in this externally, except these layers that go into an image element, HTML image element, and when that happens, you cannot execute external scripts as you would be able to if you were loading the SVG file straight into HTML. So this is the only little downside. I haven't really found a good way to standardize this, but I guess this should ideally be a one-time setup fee for a track, and if you open up the file in Boxy SVG, it will save this correctly, except Inkscape is what I am more used to and more fun to use, and Inkscape eats up this CSS, as you can see by some other files. It will, oh, well, I guess I saved it. It will gobble it up and just, you know, turn it into, like, it sometimes turns element selectors into class selectors. I'm not really sure what the idea is behind it, but it is hella broken. So for now, I'm just drawing the entire world as I want it in Inkscape, then adding the little line of CSS, and then open it in Boxy SVG to save it out, because Boxy SVG formats the XML way nicer. I'm not sure if I have a good example, but basically Inkscape will connect these things like this, and it becomes a pain in the ass and a mess to read. Whereas Boxy SVG just keeps things nice on separate lines. So that was that. So I put the style sheet in, or yeah, saved it. The game will auto reload. Hey, wait. Provided that it's loaded, of course. So if I am correct, we should now see the car on top. What? On top of the world, and then the elevated layer on top of the car. So yeah, from every path that I highlighted, like the garage box path, the pit box path, and the pit lane path, it finds waypoints. Oh wait, you know. And I have a little arrow indicator. And so now, I guess I have sound turned off so you could hear it. Now you're basically unlimited, or yeah, unlimited for speed wise. So yeah, now the next thing is to make a little bit of a track design, because this is horrible to read. You don't see anything coming. So at the very least, we need some colored curbs. And of course, for the game world, it's just nice to have some artwork. Let me see. How have I muted this? Maybe. Not entirely sure why I'm not hearing an engine sound at this moment. Oh well. Anyway, so that's pretty fun in terms of you have an idea for a racetrack, you go find it on Wikipedia, and then you can just make it into your own little game world, basically. Now, this is rendered on a 4K screen, and my computer has a decent graphics card, but not everybody is as lucky. So at some point the resolution becomes a bit large, especially like look at how crisp it is rendered in Chrome, whereas if I open it up in Firefox, you'll see they use a different rendering routine. I read a little bit about it, but not enough to fully understand it. But Firefox will always be more performant because of a lower resolution bitmap that they like. You can probably tell how it's all a little bit fuzzy, the world elements. And anyway, let's see. Yeah. So, but it is a little bit less in quality, but it certainly makes up for it in terms of FPS, basically. And I have to admit, I find it kind of charming as well to not get everything pixel perfect, because it tends to look a little bit sterile, basically. So, for example, that's obviously a development track. Here, this should be a good example, I think. Oh wait. Whereas if we compare to this, let's take that one. Everything looks all super sharp and super clean and crisp, but it might be a bit too crisp and perfect. Anyway, so I was thinking let's just do a little bit of game world design, and for that, we'll use some cheapo satellite photos. What's it? Capture a screenshot. Try to get the hell out of full screen, and then I tend to paste it into the world layer. So that was the actual pixel size as we just captured it in Google Maps. And this is basically just for us to get a reference to elements in the world. Like, super easy. So if you leave it like this, you already get a lot more context, even from the fuzzy JPEG or PNG. I don't know, but it's not fun. It's fun to make your own worlds, basically. So you know, this is super annoying, and this is also a super roundabout way of going about this. But there we go. That wasn't the best idea. Let me, for now. Let's see. I'm just eyeballing this stuff because it's so hard to match it up. Plus, it doesn't need to be 100% perfect. And then we also have probably a little bit of distortion, a little bit of lens distortion from the satellite, possibly, etc. But this is good enough to give us a world to trace. So what I end up doing is, yeah, probably in the world layer, I would make a new layer, call it, what's it called again? Sand traps or gravel traps. Oh. There you go. And then I would start out. Whoa, what the hell? Drawing this stuff. Just for now, just so that we get a bit of contrast going, see what we're up to. While we're up to it, should be something like this, I think. Yeah. I haven't seen these racetracks too often. Is that what's happening? Can always refine this later. Famous last words of an artist who never refines stuff. Because we're lazy. And we like to think that we're good. What? Also, of course, this is the venue where this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix is hosted, so I'll make sure to keep my eyes open when the race is on, just to find ideas to copy or things to include in the world. Yeah, sure, I'll do the tarmac run. Jesus, is that all gravel? It is all gravel. My goodness. Boring ass circuits. Am I gonna be? Yeah. Why not? Remember, I don't come up with these racetrack designs. I just trace them. What the hell, man? What's all this sand for? This is the biggest sand trap in the world, I bet. It's enough gravel for me. Boom. Okay. All right. Now we just select the same fill color. Yeah. And I think I was off by. Let's see, maybe. Yeah, that'd be cool. Is this all? No. There we go. Color the racetrack in a tarmacy cut. Wait, what? Oh yeah. Color. You don't want to go fully black because at some point we're gonna drop skid marks on top of that, so you want to be able to see those. And also, I noticed most racetracks actually pretty light. You always expect asphalt to be near black, but it's more often than not it's pretty gray. So you know we have these layers and just let's say Put some grass or ground. Just a regular ground. Just, yeah. Damn it. Doing it again. What's this? Oh. Ground. Let me just pull a little rectangle. What? Make it all. No, it should go down. Yeah. So this is your arcadey Super Mario racetrack world, as it will look from here. So yeah, from here on, it's basically just adding little things, cute little stuff that you think is cute, etc., or that is accurate, whatever. You can go nuts with this. I don't think I want to make this video too long. We're at 25 minutes. So yeah, that wraps up this video. I plan to do a bunch more of these. I hope it was at least interesting and hopefully also enjoyable to watch. I'm not sure what the next update is going to be about. I jumped into this but more or less haphazardly. But it's better to record myself narrating than having to write everything down. So that's how this came to be. I don't know if I'll upload this weekly or whatever. We'll see. So yeah, let me know what you think. Bye.